hidden symbolism of food and drink brands. We're going to start with fast food. And the first fast food restaurant we're going to look at is McDonald's. The logo was created by this guy here, Louis Cheskin. And let's check out the story behind these golden arches. The M stands for McDonald's, but the rounded M represents mummies' memories, according to the design consultant and psychologist Louis Cheskin. In the 1960s, McDonald's was prepared to abandon this logo, but Cheskin successfully urged the company to maintain this branding with its Freudian symbolism of a pair of nourishing breasts. This is one example of how industrial psychologists and marketing consultants are paid millions to find new ways to seduce us into buying by manipulating our unconscious desires. Wow. So you see this everywhere, especially with food and drink. A lot of alcohol and energy drink commercials often feature girls, right, to seduce us into drinking alcohol. And then Hooters, unfortunately, has that stereotype of, girls with big breasts working there, right? Little things like that all have a common agenda. And if we dive a little further, turn the logo sideways, looks like the number 13. McDonald's, the square of McDonald's forming the 1, and of course the arches on its side looks like a 3. And we've talked about the number 13, but just to review, the number 13 symbolizes rebellion against constituted authority, plus the depravity that caused Satan to rebel against God. Occultists use the number 6 to represent mankind, and the number 7 to represent the number of divine perfection. Thus, as a person climbs that Jacob's ladder towards self-perfection in the realm of the occult, the number 13 represents the state of divine perfection, self-achieved perfection, and illumination. So of course, add those two numbers together, 6 plus 7 equals 13. Right? So we'll see this again in this video, this idea of anarchy. Do what thou wilt, right? Rebellion, breaking all the rules. It's a very Satanist mindset. Moving on to Jack in the Box, all right, with their famous mascot, I guess he's called. But let's look at the history of the general concept of a Jack in the Box. Not as popular anymore, but these were widely sold as toys for kids. But what is a Jack in the Box? Where did this idea come from? A theory as to the origin of the Jack in the Box is that it comes from the 14th century English prelate Sir John Shorn, pictured here, who is often pictured holding a boot with a devil in it. According to folklore, he once cast a devil into a boot to protect the village of North Marston in Buckinghamshire. In French, a Jack in the Box is called a diable en bois, literally devil in a box. In the early 1500s, the first Jack in the Box was made by a German clockmaker known as Claus. Claus built a wooden box with metal edges and a handle that would pop out an animated devil or jack after cracking the handle. It was built as a gift for a local prince's 5th birthday. After seeing this toy, other nobles requested their own devils in a box for their children. In the early 18th century, improved toy mechanisms made the Jack in the Box more widely available for all children and not just royalty. Although this toy is not widely made anymore, the concept is still very much alive. The 2019 horror film The Jack in the Box features a vintage Jack in the Box which, once opened, appears to have a life of its own. And of course, in addition to this film, the restaurant, right? So when you say Jack in the Box, once you know the history and go back a few centuries, you're actually saying devil in the box. And this guy right here is Jack, right? He's out of the box, mingling among citizens of Earth, pictured as a friendly person when deep down inside he has evil intent. All right, moving on to the next restaurant, Taco Bell. Got a couple things to say about Taco Bell, but first, the logo itself. The ringer, the yellow part of the bell. It looks like an eye, doesn't it? Could be symbolic of the all-seeing eye. And as of 4 or 5 years ago, I think that suspicion has been confirmed. You guys might have seen this. Taco Bell on December 15th, 2017 officially released their Bell-Luminati advertising campaign, right? That triangle there, very similar to the all-seeing eye, and looks even more like an eye in this case. And it's illuminated, full of light, illumination, Illuminati, Bell-Luminati. Congratulations, you've discovered the secret world of the Bell-Luminati, where the dollar truly gets you more. Any one of these exclusive Bell-Luminati items can be yours while supplies last for the price of just $1. Decadence. Take it, it's yours. So how convenient. This Bell-Luminati society that they came up with is centered on their dollar menu. And how convenient, the dollar bill is where we actually see this all-seeing eye, this logo that inspired this Bell-Luminati. If you buy something from Taco Bell's dollar menu, then you're part of the Bell-Luminati, a not-so-secret secret society, according to former Chief Brand Officer Marissa Thalberg. Here's another shot from this concept. This exclusive item was part of a limited run and will never be made available to the masses. It is and forever shall be reserved for those in the know. Kind of sounds like Illuminati, doesn't it? Like a secret society. Those in the know, not available to the masses, right? Behind the scenes, secret, private. While it may be designed as a parody, the links are undeniable. So let's see one of the many ads that they created for this concept.
At Taco Bell, the dollar gets you access to more. Like the new $1 stacker with lavish layers of seasoned beef and melty cheese. But how can all these layers only cost $1? Something's not stacking up. Is the $1 stacker reserved for a secret society or just anyone with $1? The answer is yes.
You cannot deny the symbolism there, right? The Rock Nation, or the pyramid being held up by George Washington, the stack on the dollar bill signifying, different levels of Freemasonry, right? It's all there in your face. So please don't fall prey to this kind of stuff. Although it may seem like fun and games, there's a deeper agenda. All right, that's it for fast food for right now. Let's move on to symbolism in restaurant logos. Carl's Jr., famous for burgers and fries and more. That star looks kind of tilted, doesn't it? Which is very symbolic of the inverted pentagram, tied to demon worship and used in cultic and satanic rituals to conjure up evil spirits. Club 33 at Disney World. Right? Walt Disney was a 33rd degree Freemason. It's pretty obvious to see that his ideals, his morals, are being depicted in Disney World, right? 33 representing 33 degrees of Freemasonry, the checker floor that is so common in Masonic lodges, and much more. Anarchy, a former restaurant in Belgium. They permanently closed, but this is one example of the anarchy symbol being portrayed in restaurants, right? Going back to that idea of rebellion. Anarchy represents rebellion, breaking all rules, doing what thou wilt, according to Aleister Crowley, right? Alchemy Restaurant and Bar in Charlotte, North Carolina. You see they're using the alchemy symbol, a symbol common in magic. So once you have various geometric shapes inside a magical circle, these represent the different elements, the different astrological signs used to perform magic. The Ankh, a nightclub in Jodhpur, India. This Ankh symbol, another satanic symbol representing fertility rituals and the buildup of lust. And Freebird's World Burrito. This is a picture I took myself after getting an order from Freebirds. So on the back of their bag, they have an image that is very similar to this popular piece of art, The Creation of Adam by Michelangelo. This is God's arm on the right, reaching out to Adam as a way of, imparting the spark of life into him. And you see the poses of the arms are very similar in nature, representing Genesis 1:26 and 27, God creating man in his own image, right? But Freebirds, they put a huge parody on this painting. So now instead of God's hand, imparting the spark of life onto Adam, he's handing him a burrito. Very sacrilegious. Moving on to booze, let's look at the history of alcohol. The word alcohol comes from the Arabic al-kul, which means body-eating spirit, and gives root origins to the English term for ghoul. How about that? In Middle Eastern folklore, a ghoul is an evil demon thought to eat human bodies, either as stolen corpses or as children. By consuming alcohol into the body, it in effect extracts the very essence of the soul, allowing the body to be more susceptible to neighboring entities, most of which are of low frequencies. Why do you think we call certain alcoholic beverages spirits? That is why people who consume excessive amounts of alcohol often black out, not remembering what happened. This happens when the good soul we were sent here with leaves, because the living conditions are too polluted and too traumatic to tolerate. The good soul jettisons the body, staying connected to a tether, and a dark entity takes the body for a joyride around the block, often in a hedonistic and self-serving illogical rampage. Our bodies become cars for spirits. If one leaves, another can take the car for a ride. Essentially, when someone goes dark after drinking alcohol or polluting themselves in many other ways, their body often becomes possessed by another entity, right? So going back to the idea of the ghoul, thought to eat human bodies, it's kind of that same idea when you drink alcohol. It's kind of like eating at your body, right? Your body's not used to this beverage, this liquid. And then after you've had a little too much alcohol, right, you're not yourself. Like this guy said, good spirit goes away, evil spirit comes in and takes over, takes your body for a ride. I'm sure you guys have gotten either drunk texts or seen somebody when they're drunk, they're not the same. So let's see more of the history of alcohol. There are direct ties between alcohol and paganism. Wine, ale, cider, and mead crop up regularly in pagan rituals as an offering to the gods, as part of the simple feast following a ritual, and of course for pleasure and socialization. Similarly, in Shinto, sake, or rice wine, is a standard offering to the kami, or deities, and consuming alcohol is an integral part of Japanese festivals, great and small. Here are a few of many gods that are connected to alcohol. Dionysus, known by the Romans as Bacchus, the Greek god of wine. Ninkasi, the Sumerian goddess of beer. Mbaba Mwana Varesa, Zulu fertility goddess who rules over agriculture, rain, and beer. Medb, the Irish goddess of fertility, intoxication, justice, and death. And Bridget, an Irish saint who is known for turning water into beer for priests. So it's no coincidence that many of the alcoholic drinks we see today are named after gods and have pagan connections. Here are some examples. Ninkasi Brewing Company, out of Eugene, Oregon, named after that Sumerian goddess. Aegir Brewing Company, out of Elk River, Minnesota. Aegir is the Norse god of beer. Inari Biru. This beer is named after Inari, the Shinto god of sake. The Atlas Cocktail. Atlas is another god. Dionysus Food and Wine, named after the Greek god of wine. And at this place, Revolution Brewing, they have a beverage called Baphomet Bach. And we've seen the Baphomet in several episodes. Baphomet is considered one of the gods of Freemasonry. And check this out. The alcoholic content of this drink, 6.66%. Number of the mark of the beast. Akan distribution. Akan is the Mayan god of alcohol. And Surly Brewing Company, featuring the inverted pentagram on their label. So in addition to all the other gods we've talked about, Satan is worshipped too. Moving on to candy and snacks. Let's see how various brands and logos similarly feature occult symbolism. Icebreakers Duo looks very similar to the yin-yang symbol, representing the idea, the belief that all is one and all is God. M&M's, if you turn the M's on their side, kind of looks like 33, which could be representing the 33 degrees of Freemasonry. Starbucks logo, very similar in appearance to the Baphomet, which we've seen before. These two fins kind of look like the two wings, and she also has a star on her head. Oreos, hidden in their cookie is the Cross of Lorraine, a symbol used by the Knights Templar, which are very closely interwoven with Freemasons. And Snickers. Let's see a little bit of the history of the Snickers chocolate bar. Mars Food Services begins making Snickers for Halloween months in advance. Vic Marin, Chief Operating Officer, said that the Mars factory in Oak Park, Illinois starts making Snickers and other candy that will be sold at Halloween the spring before trick-or-treaters take to the streets. The factory pumps out Snickers throughout the entire summer in order to have everything shipped out and on store shelves by September. So some satanic priorities going on for this chocolate brand. And according to Fox News, in 2019, Snickers joined a movement to officially make Halloween the last Saturday in October. And here is a tweet that they made about it, even offering 1 million free Snickers to America if the petition was passed. So I don't know about you, but I don't want to be associated with eating a candy that is so devoted to a satanic holiday. Moving on to a few advertisements. Printed ads and commercials also often hide satanic symbolism or sacrilegious themes. A few years ago, Domino's offered the Super 6 Mix, 3 medium, 1 topping pizzas for $6 each. 666, number of the mark of the beast. And I did a little research on Domino's. They seem to really embrace that number. Various locations across the country have 666 in their phone number. Here's a location in Waco, a location in Portland, and a location in Mobile, Alabama, all featuring that number. It's kind of strange. Doritos, kind of looks like some pyramid symbolism. Pyramid, another highly embraced symbol by the Illuminati, and also another level, going back to the idea of the different ranks or degrees of Freemasonry. Might be kind of hard to see this one, but this is another picture I got. Advertisement for Newport cigarettes. $6.66 per pack. And we've seen this one before. The Califia oat milk brand. When your coffee deserves a treat. Hallelujah. Sacrilegious play on the word hallelujah. Praising milk instead of praising the Lord. An advertisement for Red Bull that I caught on YouTube. Red versus blue. Go back to episode number 1 if you don't know the symbolism of that. Again, that idea of light versus dark coexisting. Duality. Very common element in occultism. And an old but very relevant advertisement for Skippy peanut butter everybody skippy dipping, another move by the big brands to feed into our subconscious desires and seduce us into buying their products. And one more advertisement. This is an advertisement that came out a few years ago for Bud Light. Check it out.
Who are they?
What do they want? In order to save our civilization, we must schmablicate with the male of your species. In exchange, we offer this.
Here we go! I'm doing it. It's the sure sign of time. It's just right taste of Bud Light.
The guys are gone! Here we go!
Illuminati, you'll never take control. Your new world order will lead to none at all. We are standing by.
Yeah, so I hope you guys saw the pyramid symbolism behind them. And also the bigger idea of that commercial, right? Offering Bud Light in exchange for saving the planet, right? Kind of sounds like a Faustian deal to me. Let's take a look at what a Faustian deal is. A deal with the devil, also called a Faustian bargain or Mephistophelian bargain, is a cultural motif exemplified by the legend of Faust. The pact is between a person and the devil or another demon, trading a soul for diabolical favors, which vary by the tale but tend to include youth, knowledge, wealth, fame, and power. The idea of making a deal with the devil has appeared many times in works of popular culture. And just some other random facts as we wrap up this video. A study done in 2020 by business.org named Las Vegas the most food-obsessed city in 2020. And look closely at Las Vegas, that number there, 666. Las Vegas was ranked number 1 as the most food-obsessed city with 666 restaurants per 100,000 people, according to a business.org study. So the Sin City has done it again with satanic symbolism. Moving on to a quick video about Beyond Meat. Although the majority of our country is not vegetarian, there is a growing trend to pursue meat alternatives. But is there a darker motive behind this? Check it out.
So if you haven't noticed by now, the same fast food industry that makes millions of dollars feeding the masses illnesses through dysfunctional diets is now trying to go vegan. Vegan burgers are now available at every Burger King, and even KFC is offering a new plant-based fried chicken. But what they're not saying is that these new vegan options are in fact synthetic 3D printed meat.
Yes, KFC has partnered with Russian scientists to develop lab-made chicken nuggets.
In fact, the leading investor and advocate of the synthetic meat is one of the world's most wealthiest men today, known as Bill Gates. And I'm going to tell you why that's important. Now, over the past 17 years, Bill Gates has spent over $6 billion buying up farmland, and now owns a large majority of the farmland in America, which is an attempt to control the food supply, which in turn controls the population. According to Bill Gates, everyone should be eating fake meat in an attempt to save our planet. Now, ironically, this statement of saving our planet is coming from the same man who believes that our planet is overpopulated. The Gates-funded Impossible Foods has over 24 patents and over 100 patents pending to artificially replicate cheese, beef, and chicken. So is what we get from Mother Nature not enough? Let me know what you think in the comments.
So I think you raised a very good point. Someone who's trying to depopulate our planet, saying our planet is too crowded, too overpopulated, trying to sell us fake meat in an attempt to save our planet, might be trying to kill us, honestly. It's scary to think about. So I talked about the esoteric and pagan dangers of alcohol. Here are the general health risks of drinking alcohol. It is known by many that ingesting alcohol depresses the nervous system, kills brain cells, is toxic to the liver, weakens the immune system, and has many other harmful effects. We are taught that long-term alcohol use can lead to unwanted weight gain, diseases of the liver, lowering of intelligence, and negative effects on hormones. Drinking alcohol while pregnant can lead to birth defects, mental retardation, and deformities in the developing fetus. Yet still it is mass promoted and supported by our mainstream culture. And that can be said about a lot of things. Things that aren't safe, that aren't healthy, and that aren't Christ-like are perpetrated, are promoted by the masses, by the mainstream. And the general dangers of eating fast food. A 2013 Gallup poll revealed that 8 in 10 Americans eat fast food at least monthly, and half said they eat it weekly. As of 2018, 71% of Americans were classified as overweight or obese. Fast food and processed food, among other things, are contributing to not just obesity, but also diabetes, heart attacks, strokes, dementia, and cancer. Research has also shown that excess calories shorten lifespan. Junk food, which is almost synonymous with fast food, high in sodium, can lead to increased headaches and migraine. Junk food high in carbs can trigger outbreaks of acne. Eating excessive amounts of junk food may increase your risk of depression. The carbs and sugar in fast foods can lead to dental cavities. Fried foods are filled with trans fats, which raise LDL cholesterol levels. Fast food is filled with empty carbohydrates, which can lead to increased blood sugar and insulin resistance. Increased sodium levels can lead to your body retaining excessive water, leading to bloating. So fast food has many effects on your body, and I can definitely confirm the outbreak of acne part. I don't eat fast food anymore, but in past years I would always try to figure out why I would get so many pimples on my face. And we'll see a video close to the end of how eating fast food only can take effect on your body, leading to these things mentioned here and much more. There is also a link between fast food, processed food, commercial baked goods, and sweets, and destruction of brain cells and a lowering of intelligence. An Ohio State Study University from 2014 found that students with heavy fast food diets got test scores about 20% lower than those who didn't eat fast food. The research was done with middle schoolers. Yeah, pretty crazy stuff. So that study showed that the more frequently children reported eating fast food in 5th grade, that their test scores in math, science, and reading would lower significantly by the time they got to 8th grade. So what are we really eating that has so many effects on our body? Let's see a few examples of fast food items and where they come from, what they're made with. The Subway egg sandwich. What are the ingredients in that? Ingredients include glycerin, a solvent found in soap and shaving cream, dimethyl polysiloxane, I think I said that right, a silicone that can also be found in silly putty, and calcium silicate, a sealant used on roofs and concrete. So why is it in our food? McNuggets from McDonald's. Before they looked like that, they looked like this. It doesn't exactly look like a tasty meal, does it? Definitely doesn't look like chicken. There's something called mechanically separated meat, a mixture created when the bones and carcass of a leftover chicken are mixed together in a food processor. Yum. Wendy's chili. Wendy's chili has silicon dioxide in it, also known as silica, which can be found in quartz or sand. It also serves as an anti-caking agent, allowing the chili to stay looking fresh. And most fast food restaurants often offer some type of side salad. What's in that side salad? Many places dust their salads with propylene glycol to keep the leaves crisp. While considered safe for consumption, propylene glycol can be found in antifreeze and sexual lubricants. So again, why is it in our food? And tomato-based sauces, be it pizza, pasta, meatballs, items with tomato sauce. Someone did a study on this and found that the FDA allows a certain number of fly eggs and maggots to be in the sauce and still be considered edible. So for example, canned tomatoes, 10 or more fly eggs per 500 grams is okay. Or 5 or more fly eggs and 1 or more maggot per 500 grams is okay. I'm not going to go on because that's just gross. But for even one fly egg or maggot to be present, that's okay? That's edible? Yikes. A fries experiment done in 2008. McDonald's fries on the left, KFC fries on the right. This photo was taken in 2012, 4 years later, and look at the McDonald's fries. Still look exactly the same. KFC fries, not so much. Likely explanation, a preservative called sodium propionate, according to Marion Nessel, former chairwoman of NYU's Food Studies program. So if it can still look like that after 4 years, what is it doing when it goes inside my body? Have mercy. A similar experiment was done in the film Super Size Me from 2008. He had about, 6 or 7 burgers and McDonald's fries, put them in containers and just left them to sit there. And after weeks, the burgers showed definite signs of mold and the fries looked exactly the same. So I'm not going to play that part, but again, just showing you some of the many effects that fast food has on your body. And in this case, eating only fast food.
In only 30 days of eating nothing but McDonald's, I gained 24.5 pounds. My liver turned to fat, and my cholesterol shot up 65 points. My body fat percentage went from 11 to 18%, still below the national average of 22% for men and 30% for women. I nearly doubled my risk of coronary heart disease, making myself twice as likely to have heart failure. I felt depressed and exhausted most of the time, my mood swung on a dime, and my sex life was non-existent. I craved this food more and more when I ate it, and got massive headaches when I didn't. In my final blood test, many of my body functions showed signs of improvement, but the doctors were less than optimistic.
Alright, that part about the sex life was a little TMI, but anyway. Look at that long list of eating nothing but McDonald's, the effect that it had on his body. So whether you're eating it every day or, every once in a while, what is it doing to our body? So in conclusion, watch what you eat. And I mean that in more ways than one. We saw several examples of food brands, beverage brands, snack brands that have occult symbolism in their logos, right? Trying to subconsciously condition us into a Satanist or anarchist mindset in something as simple as eating a chocolate bar, or getting the latest deal from Domino's Pizza, or drinking a can of Bud Light. And also, watch what you eat for health's sake. Obviously, fast food is very popular. There's probably a McDonald's within 5 miles of any suburban or urban neighborhood. But look at where that stuff came from. Look at how they make that stuff. And look at what it does to your body. Are they slowly trying to kill us? Is there a depopulation agenda in the fast food industry and the making of certain alternative meat products? Going back to alcohol, has drinking and getting drunk been made popular to simulate demonic possession and to venerate false gods and goddesses? And have these various food brands and restaurant brands put satanic symbols in their logos, in their branding, to subconsciously get us to worship Satan? Just some things to think about. So it's not just music, it's not just movies, TV shows, sports, even the foods and drinks that we consume often have satanic intent, satanic connections, pagan connections. So watch what you eat, because your body is the living temple of the Holy Spirit. And Satan is trying to defile us and our temples in more ways than one. So with that being said, I'll wrap it up for this episode. Hope to see you all in the next one. Be vigilant, my friends.